Absa Cape Epic, an 8-day mountain bike stage race, 16,000 meters of climbing in the vast, hot and rugged terrain of the Western Cape, South Africa. This year, the Absa Cape Epic founder Kevin Vermaak is racing it for the second time, along with teammate Andrew Hunt.
My goal was always to create the world's premier mountain bike stage race in the Western Cape. At the time, there wasn't another mountain bike stage race in South Africa, and we figured that if we introduced this concept to them and we communicated it well, we would get a lot of support from South African athletes. And in fact, it wasn't the mountain bikers, because mountain biking was a very small sport in South Africa then. I'm not trying to get onto the podium with the Epic. I really want to make sure I'm fit enough so that I just can enjoy every day, because at the end of the day, I love mountain biking. When I rode it for the first time 3 years ago, it was tremendously emotional, because I couldn't help thinking of the early years when, it was blood, sweat and tears, and I eventually put everything on the line.
In November 2018, Kevin crashed whilst on his time trial bike, resulting in a broken wrist, just 4 months out from the Cape Epic.
To be honest, I'm not sure what I would have done a few years back if I'd been similarly injured without Zwift, because there's no other sport that really replicates cycling that was also possible for me with a broken wrist. This has really just changed the game for me in indoor training, because this is actually fun. And I love the novelty of it as well, to actually ride with my mate with whom I'm riding the Epic. And it doesn't really matter if I've got a broken wrist or not, because this is the only way we could actually ride with my mate on the other side of the world.
This is tough, but awesome. All the way here from San Jose, Costa Rica. Hey Kevin, ready for the Cape Epic?
The way we've trained together, because obviously we haven't had a chance to do a race together, we've effectively met in the virtual world. And then obviously training for the Epic, we took it to the next level. We both got into Zwift and did some training rides together. Riding in Zwift, we could actually look at our power numbers, and we could actually look at our stats that are coming out from this ride in the virtual world. And luckily they matched, and that gave us the confidence that we could actually take on the Epic together. In the Epic workout sessions on Zwift, led by Annika Langvaart, as it is, it's a privilege to be riding with Annika, because it's not something that you do during the race itself. You're actually meeting some riders that you're going to meet a few weeks later when you arrive in South Africa.
Nice and easy for your wrist.
Yeah, it's actually fine now.
It's all signed off?
It's signed off. This is actually my first mountain bike ride in like 2.5 months.
Oh, this is okay.
It's very satisfying to think that you started it so many years ago, and then you always try to create something special, and I think by all counts now we have got something quite special with the Absa Cape Epic. It's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most actually about this year's Epic, is to ride the prologue on Table Mountain. I remember what it was like crossing the finish line 3 years ago, and certainly it was one of the greatest feeling of exhilaration and satisfaction that I've had in my life. It's pretty much like the Champs-Élysées of world mountain biking, and I'm looking forward to that feeling again. And it's kind of like you only know the feeling once you've done it.
Join Kevin and Andrew on their journey to this year's Absa Cape Epic.
Cape Epic!